I was not too much of a big fan of the first game because the story was pretty much, well, in other words, boring. Or pretty much the characters wasn't all that interesting. Yeah, we can move on, thank you. Anyways, Original Sin 2 was pretty much a big improvement and I liked it a lot. I love playing the game. But there is some drawbacks. But let's focus on the positive, which I wrote down. The plotline of Divinity Original Sin starts off really good. You pretty much are held prisoner by the magisters because you're a source user or a sorcerer, and we don't know why until you dive in more into the story of Divinity Original Sin 2, which the story has a lot of twists and turns and a lot of things you don't see coming, which I like a lot. I love the plot lines. I love the personal companion quest plot lines. They're really good. That's when the game shines, when it talks about your companions or yourself, or pretty much the story in general, because it comes off as a really strong, dark narrative, where the first one was very cartoonish and it was like blah, but this is where it comes off as the Witcher type game, Witcher 3 in my case, because it's like, oh, that is awesome, dog. That's like, I didn't see that coming, dog. Where'd you get that good shit from, dog? So anywho, it goes really to say that the plot line and the storytelling is really good. But I will say that for the negatives, but overall you feel very satisfied about the story, and pretty much the journey becomes very engaging because the story is very engaging. It's very puts you more in the mix of things. And it's saying like you're not just a chosen one, you're pretty much a chosen one behind everyone else. Because everyone's fighting for their own personal goals and why they want to become, well, the next divinity or the next god. So that becomes really interesting and really powerful in how you become more connected to your companions, and more you become more connected to your companions, it becomes like a heartbreak of how you gotta destroy someone's dreams just to get to point A to point B. So I really like the plot line. Going on from there is, I'm looking down again, don't mind me, is the free, sorry. Yeah, it's outside, sorry. So, it's the world building. The world within Divinity Original Sin 2, which is Rivellon, is very more crafted well, is very beautiful, and it takes your breath away how everyone reacts to you, the sorcerer, or source user. And if you do right, people will treat you like a hero. If you do them wrong, they'll treat you as a villain. It's pretty much, there is a gray area, but the gray areas pretty much become black and white, but in a good way. So the world is very responsive of your actions and your decisions that you do in the world. That goes along with the great storytelling. So the story itself is another character that you really gotta pay attention to, because you have so many other elements that could hurt you, help you, and you go on from that line of saying like, what do we do now? How can we become, I say, a ruler over the people, where your sacrifice or pretty much your selflessness will actually affect them. So again, I love the world in this game. Going on from that aspect is, again, I'm looking down, do not mind me, is the combat. The combat in the first game of Divinity Original Sin was very okay. It was nonchalant. But in 2, it's very engaging, just like the story, because the combat becomes like, okay, how can I do X, Y, and Z? But you can do other things outside of combat. You can persuade people to be on your side. You could lockpick. You can pretty much barter, or pretty much trade with other individuals to be on your side or go against your side, or vice versa. Because whatever you do in combat will have a big effect on the story itself. So the combat becomes very much its own character. So the combat is very fleshed out, it's very engaging. I love it. There's no class building. There's no such thing as class building in this game. It's all free range. You can choose. You can be a tank or a magister, or tank and magister, a scoundrel, or both. In a sense, you can become a demigod. You can become a wizard who's good at persuasion but sucks at everything else, you have so many other elements that your companions pick up the slack, which I do like a lot. Your companions become more of a customizable weapon or vehicle, or pretty much a liability within your combat. So it's up to you to customize how you're going to play them and how you're going to use them in the game. So I do like that a lot. I love that. And going on from that aspect, another aspect is the free range of customization. And again, this is a lot of customization, which I do applaud the developers for, because you customize your character, your companions, the story itself, how you want to make it out to be. It doesn't matter which race you become. It becomes more important what class you become, because the class that you choose becomes like a free range you can do. Like, you're an artist, you see a blank canvas, which is your character, and you can put so many colors, so many aspects to your character that makes it more unique or different from the others. For example, my character was pre-built in the game, which is like your companion. You can become your own, you become the companions in the game, and the companion become like the main character, because the companion's personal story will be latched onto the main arc, which is really cool, and I love that a lot. Anywho, so when you customize your companion, you have that full range of what they can become, or you can become them throughout the whole game and not play your own character. Or you can be your own character who's pretty much a nobody. You can be somebody or nobody. And it's pretty much, I'm doing no justice of talking about it. You have to play the game yourself, how customizable your character and the game is. It's very customizable. And then you just come like finding new gear, finding new equipment, getting spell books and everything else is so exciting because you customize it to your own aspects. You can always go back to the drawing board and recreate your character again. There's no there's no penalty of going back to the drawing board with your character, and that's really good. I applaud that on the game as well. And so I love it. I love the aspects. But now, since I said all the good things, let's talk about the bad things. The bad things are, I'm gonna say the big complaint for the last part, because it's gonna be two big ones that's gonna be like they connect to each other. But yes, I'm looking down, so I'm trying to multitask here and hold the camera at the same time. So I'm doing good holding the camera, kind of, and I am looking at, oh yes, to start off, the music in the game is very forgettable. And this is the negatives now. The music became very bland. You don't really care that much about the music, and it becomes annoying because the music will overlap the dialogue in the game. I have turned down the volume of the music in the game, but it will creep in at the wrong moments when you're talking to a companion or when you're talking to another NPC for really important details. But then the music will pretty much linger in and just become an annoying pest, like a fly on the wall. It's like, please shut up. I'm trying to listen to what they're trying to tell me. And because the quest tracking, I mean, it's still abysmal, just like the first one, but it's not as bad as the first one. It's like, it's a little bit more detailed, and I'm not trying to let people hold my hand do X, Y, and Z. No, it's not that. I just want a little more detail what to do in the game. Anywho, and quest tracking is less of a nuisance, so that's a good thing. But the music becomes a more bigger problem because the quest tracking becomes abysmal, because the music will pretty much distract you, or pretty much like say throw you off guard, because the music was like, oh, it'd be like the wah wah wah. I'm trying to just imitate the music, but I'm not doing a great job. So anywho, going from that bad aspect is the next aspect, is that 80% of the game's side quest missions that's not dealing with you or your companions, or really important side quests that will affect the world, are all boring and pointless shit. Because it will be times where you're doing so much side quest missions that most of them don't make sense, or you have to go back and do this again, or you have to go back from the drawing board and just do this and this and this. It becomes just tiresome because you're doing so much backtracking over one quest. Again, one quest, just to finish one quest, they go on to the next quest. Because most of these quests don't give you enough experience points, but if they do, their rewards are kind of crappy. So you have to deal with that aspect as well. Dealing with crappy equipment, or dealing with crappy awards, or dealing with crappy gestures, or dealing with really bullshit outcomes that don't make much sense. For an example, I had to look for eggs for a mother hen. And again, you can choose not to do it, but you're kind of forced to do it because when you get to the end of the game, you'd be like a level behind the main arc, if at all, and becomes a bigger pain in the ass because you're pretty much forced to do these side quest missions just to get another boost in experience points, just to level up. And so going back to the mother hen side quest, I'm not going to spoil it, is just that when you get to that, when you get all the eggs and then the mother hen gives you this, it goes on to more pointless side quests because it puts on hold for a brief moment, like, oh, wait for this quest to continue. It's like, are you serious? I went through 6 hours just to look for those stupid eggs. Now you tell me to wait like 12 minutes in game time? And fuck you. And yes, I was really aggravated at that moment. And the worst puzzles, which is a side quest, which bleeds into the main arc, is when you get to the final level, like in Act 4. Oh my god, there is the worst puzzles on planet Earth, because the floor puzzles, it starts off from being annoying to a nightmare plus more. Yeah, it's like a nightmare plus, because the puzzles in Divinity itself aren't all that good. They are pretty much, they lack inspiration, or they lack pretty much, it lacks besides imagination, it lacks something else. It lacks the fun factor. It lacks pretty much being fun to play with, like your character in combat. That's one thing. Or talking to important NPCs, or talking to your companions, that's one thing. But doing puzzles in the game is so annoying and just an eyesore that it almost made me feel just want to give up on the game, because I was close to the end. I was about to finish it, and to these stupid floor puzzles. Again, I can't spoil the whole thing, but it is garbage. It is pure garbage, because it all connects to another floor puzzle, If I'm correct, it's either 3 or 4 floor puzzles. And yes, I gotta say that multiple times because that's how it is. Because to actually start the damn floor puzzles, you must go to another side quest mission that you really don't care for, because it's bullshit. And then when you go to that point, you're exhausted as a gamer. Because, and I'll break this down too. In Act 1, the side quests are really important and actually really cool to play with. Act 2, they become annoying and become very pointless at times, or all the times. And Act 3, they're not that important, and they become very small and mediocre. I mean, very small and mediocre. And then the 4th act are just garbage nightmare. And that's really a shame too. And that made me want to skip. Okay, actually, be honest, I skipped half of those side quest missions because they were all dog shit boring. They were all boring because I sold off this one item to the next person that I couldn't find it, and then, oh god, the nightmares. Sorry for rambling on. And so the last part, or the last negative, is the ending. And this is all, like, I got tired from doing all the floor puzzles and doing a long boss fight. It was a cool boss fight, but the decisions they told you offhand, I can't spoil. It was coming off as like, wait, what? Trust me, because the twists and turns are really good, but the execution at the end of it is really sloppy at times, or just pretty much makes no sense. because a key character from Divinity Original Sin 1 comes back. I can't tell you who it is because there's several characters, and there's one character I could care less for, and there's one character that I did like, but I can't spoil who it is. Layman put it more bluntly, or pretty much nicely, is that when you meet this character out of nowhere, like, oh, well, I didn't know that, and the main villains don't show up. They show up, but you don't get that real fear. You don't get that real impact. It's only told by stories or other NPCs. You don't have that much of an impact, or pretty much you don't have the main villains don't have anything to do with anything. In layman's terms, you don't feel that impact to do, like, we gotta go X, Y, and Z, here, just to stop this one person. No, it's like, who are you again? And plus, why the fuck should I care? Again, I was like this, like, the whole game, like, why the fuck should I care? And again, this goes back to the stupid side quest missions, and then it goes back to everything else. But anyways, when you get to the ending, when you get to the end game, and you get a half-ass explanation what happens to the world. I say it's half-ass because they could have done some, like, I don't know, some cutscenes here and there, or something really brand and new. No, because I didn't do that much side quest missions, the ending became very like a lackluster journey. Like, so nothing really happened in this world. I mean, certain things happen due to your companions, but overall, who gave a fuck? Because it's like, when you do go, I looked this on YouTube as well, where you did every other when you did all the side quest missions and you did this type of mission as well, the world itself becomes okay, but at the same notion, it's like, who cares? We went through all that bullshit for nothing. It's like, that's how it is. And that's really a shame too, because the customizations of your characters and your companions and the combat and everything else was great, and the story is great too, but when it comes to the ending, it's like, wait, that's it? We don't get no cool whatever? No, we just get this half-ass bullshit, in which it was all half-ass in my book. And so when you choose to become A, the A ending is really stupid. When you pick option B for the ending, that's also even more stupid. So option C, no fact that is stupid, it makes more sense, because I can't spoil it because I'll ruin the game for you. But you're gonna feel like, wait, so I had to go through all this bullshit for this? It makes no sense. But anywho, so what do I get this? What do I give this game? Well, the overall experience of it all, I love this game. That's pretty much what it is. I love this game. It does have some flaws to it, and it keeps it from becoming a perfect game in my eyes. Is it the next Witcher game, or Persona 5, or YS7? I think it's called 7 or 8 or whatever, or anything on that lines of Final Fantasy 7 or 10. No, in fact, all those games are different. Those stories have more compelling and more powerful impact on the player, and the main villains are also very compelling as well. Maybe Witcher 3's villains is like lackluster, but when you play Blood and Wine, that's amazing as well, and that's another different story I'm not getting into right now. But anywho, it's still an amazing game, and I do encourage gamers to play it, because it's a fun ride. You're gonna love the characters, you're gonna love the journey, you're gonna love the customization of all the characters, the combat's amazing, the world is beautiful, you can do so much other things, but at the same notion, 80% of the side quest missions are pointless and or boring, like backtracking to point A to point B. The music is very forgettable, and the ending is very underwhelming at best, because it was like, oh, so this happened and That's it. You don't get nothing really that cool. You don't get nothing really spectacular. No, not really. And so, yeah. So, going back on it, it's not a Sai-OK because it's more than a Sai-OK. It's a really awesome, fun game, but it's the same notion. It's very riddled with flaws that could have been fixed up or just could have been avoided altogether, like those floor puzzles. It is terrible at puzzles. Trust me on that. Anywho, that's pretty much all I have to really say. So my rating is a badass Sun rating. It's a badass Sun rating because awesome character customization, voice acting, the plot line is really cool, the world is beautiful, combat is more fleshed out, is unique, and so much more. But at the same notion, again, I'm gonna repeat myself, is the side quest missions become very, very mundane and boring and pointless to go through. 80% of it is. The music is very forgettable, and the ending is just underwhelming. That's all I have to really say. So overall, that's it. But that's it. That's it for my show. And also, do stay tuned for more Divinity gameplay because I'm going to post up episodic episodes of Divinity Original Sin 2. And if you like this video, I might do Divinity 2.